Hey everybody, welcome back. And if you watched the last video, you realize we had to split it in half because it actually became quite a long video after editing. But we touched on at the end of that video filling these beds that we just built the other day. And honestly, there's a couple ways to do it. You've got the expensive way, you've got a relatively cheaper way to do it, and then you got a free way, which, how do you turn down free? But real quick, we'll just talk about it. You can, by all means, go to Home Depot, Lowe's, any hardware store, and just buy bags of dirt like this. But they're going to be a little bit different, and I'll explain why. But that's going to cost money. And if you're trying to save money, I mean, I know they say you have to spend money to make money, but in this case, don't spend it if you don't have to. You're going to spend, I don't know, $8 to $10 on a bag of soil. And then you're filling in, like these are 10 by 5 beds. If you're going to fill that in, I mean, I'm not going to do the math because I don't want a headache today, but that's a lot of money, and it's going to take a lot of soil. So let's go to option 2. Option 2, same bags of dirt. However, regularly at Home Depot, Walmart, I don't know about Lowe's, we don't have one nearby, but a lot of places, if a bag is damaged like that, this little tear right here, look at this. This tear is worthy of that bag being marked down from $6 to $3.60. Same thing over here, you're going from closer to 7 or 8 to $4.20, likewise down to $4.20. That's all it takes, is that little bit of a imperfection. And a lot of times you'll see there's a pallet up front, and that's what these are. It's marked down dirt. Marked down dirt, that's a lot better than paying full price. Now, you're still going to pay a lot, even if it's marked down, to fill these up. So when you combine option 2 with option 3, the free option. If you've got room on your property to dig up your own soil, dig up your own soil. Now we don't, because it's everywhere you look around here, it's red clay. But down at the greenhouse, in the fields where we're growing, is this wonderful garden soil. I mean, you can see, this is not red clay. This is years of additives and just making the fields look beautiful. Now it's going to take my little Toyota 14,500 trips, but if you're willing to put in the work, here's free. And what I want to do is I want to take the free and mix it with stuff I've marked down, or bought that was marked down, everything from the peat moss to the additives, and just combine them to make a great soil. Now this is compost. You can see how dark and rich it is. This is probably 8 months old, I don't really know, but once again, that came from down at the greenhouse, and you can see that mixed with everything else is going to be wonderful. And there's one more thing we can do. Two more things. One of them, you can add this to your bed. Now if you're cutting a lot of grass and you're using a bagger, you vacuum up all the thatch and all the grass. You can put this in your bed. It absolutely. Put it down in the bottom after you break up the red clay, and it's going to help. It'll break down over time, and it's just living matter that's going to break down, and it's basically like having your own compost in your bed. So with this, there's one more, and I'm going to take you down here. See, I got rid of all the leaves in my yard, but right over here, and this is actually still part of our property, but you know, all that is last year's leaves, all the way down through there. And now you think, okay, it's just leaves. It's underneath that layer of leaves. It's where the leaves have started to break down for the last year, and it's kind of turning into a compost all its own. It's, leaf mulch. I rake up wheelbarrow loads of this, get it over the fence, and bring it up here, and that can absolutely be the first layer against this red clay, once the red clay is broken up, of course. So you break up the red clay, you add the leaf mulch, you add the thatch and the grass, and that is a lot. And then once you put your soil, your dirt, everything on top of it, once you start planting your plants, when the roots start growing, when they've got all that leaf mulch and everything below, that gives them something to grow towards. It's kind of like having a self-contained compost within your flower bed. And over the course of the year, next year after everything's done growing, I can absolutely come in here, till up everything that's in this bed, and add more leaf mulch, add more grass mulch. You always work your beds, always make them always trying to improve. So anyway, that's 3 ways we can start working on these beds today and hopefully make a big difference rather than spending. So I'm going to go ahead and start breaking up all of the red clay, at least in this one bed. I'll focus on this one bed and see if we can't get it done today. Hopeful, but we'll see. Alright, now before you add to your beds and fill them up, you have the option of pulling up your width runners right here, and then you could just run your garden tiller straight in, till everything up, and yeah, it would be just a really quick process. And then of course you put your runners back in. Now me, this is my garden tiller. Yeah, that is a heck of a piece of machinery right there. So that's what I'm going to be using today. We're going to beat up all the red clay we've got, and we'll start adding in and trying to make this a bed worthy of planting in. There we go. Alright, who would have thought my camera battery would give out before I would? I figure. Alright, I'm going to finish up. so here it is, finished product, and we built the beds, and now this is the beds filled with dirt. We didn't actually use the bags of potting soil. I'm actually going to take those to the greenhouse because the potting soil is better off in the trays and in the seedlings than it is in beds this big. It's not going to add a whole lot to the beds, but you saw it from the beginning. Started with leaves, grass clippings, moved in the peat moss, and then it was just nothing but hauling loads of dirt nonstop. But we've gotten here and they're ready for plants, which is perfect because in the time that it took to finish this project, it is now time to start planting. So here shortly there should be another video coming out of this bed on the left, bed number 1. I'm going to be putting plenty of stuff in it and just getting started. So if you stuck around, if you enjoyed it, if you learned anything, let me know. I have plans of giving a tutorial on building your own compost. Some people use a bucket. I'm going to build one out of pallets, I believe. And kind of like the beds, show you how to do it free, and if not free, at a very low cost, which is, it's kind of the theme I'm going for. Everything affordable.